What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort?
Oh, bless her heart. So this woman wants to know why men don't pursue women as strongly anymore, citing a specific example of how when her dad met her mom, he continued to ask her out even though she initially laughed in his face. And when she had to work late, he came and picked her up with dinner already made and they went and had a picnic. And I can easily womansplain this. See, back in your mom and dad's day, your mom didn't have thousands of influencers telling her that your dad is a creep if he keeps asking her out after she's already said no. Your mom didn't have thousands of influencers telling her that a picnic isn't a real first date. Your mom didn't have influencers telling her that it's not even safe to get in the car with a guy on a first date and that she needs to demand he send an Uber instead because they didn't have Uber. And your mom also didn't have 5 different dating apps to make her think that she has millions of other options.
Do you know what the real difference is? Okay, all of these points are valid in their own respect, but the real reason why men have stopped doing this crap is because, truthfully, number one, the women have said they don't want to be approached by men for the last 10 plus years. But number two, the women are simply not worth it. Okay, a lot of these women are like, well, my mother got such different treatment back in the day than I do now. Yeah, your mother is a completely different woman to modern day women. You guys see what I'm saying, right? So many of these women, they want the traditional treatment from men, but they are not worth the traditional treatment themselves. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about why men do not approach women anymore. So I'm going to literally pull up a random clip. I have a bunch sitting in front of me right now. I have not pre-watched these, and I guarantee you, it'll show you exactly why men don't want to approach women. Let's jump into the first one right here. Boom. Completely random video clip. Haven't seen it. Let's see if this makes us excited to talk to women, guys. Let's take a listen.
Boy crazy girls are not your friends, and I wish I knew this sooner. If you're friends with someone who is boy crazy, every damn conversation you have with them will eventually always lead back to men. Their life will always revolve around men. They're completely obsessed with receiving male attention and being in a relationship. Therefore, don't be surprised if they will always prioritize their romantic relationships over their female friendships.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I think we might just go with a different clip. This woman is already too annoying. Let's jump into the next one. I have nothing to say about that. Let's jump into this one. Woman in her car. Should be great. Let's take a listen.
There's a lot about a guy's personality. And you can literally take this for what it is.
Literally?
Go take a guy driving and then make sure he's late to an appointment and sit with him in the car and see how he drives. Does he compromise other people's lives? Does he cut people off? Does he speed like when you really shouldn't be? Like, how you drive is how, you can really identify a person's moral compass with the way they drive. So
every time I watch one of these videos, man, I just lose faith in humanity. Okay, so this woman is trying to gauge men by how they drive if they're late to an appointment, which, by the way, she encourages the other women to go and make men late to the appointment. I just want to take a moment to, let's just have a look at this woman. We have, I don't know if you guys can see this, we have finger tattoos going on here. Okay, we have some long ass nails, right? Like, this is the kind of woman who is just clinically insane. Nothing you do is ever going to be right. She's going to judge you off of X, Y, Z. And truthfully, it doesn't matter. This is exactly why men have stopped caring, by the way, guys, right? Is like, if you listen to everything these women say, you're just like, and you actually take it seriously, your life is probably going to be measurably worse because the women will always have an issue with you. You could be the world's safest driver, okay? Then the woman will start complaining that you don't drive fast enough, Every single one of these videos that I see from these women makes me lose faith in humanity. Let's just go back to the original video. Okay, and this was the one about the woman talking about why men don't approach women anymore. And let's just see how correctly she's actually got it. So let's continue with her points.
5 different dating apps to make her think that she has millions of other options. And on the flip side of that coin, your dad also didn't have access to tons of pages online blasting, humiliating, and making fun of men who are overly persistent.
Yeah, so men who are overly persistent, by the way, I agree with this. They will absolutely be made fun of. this is something that a lot of guys realize when they're quite young, is like, you know, you're sold the Disney idea that you have to pursue, you have to do everything, you got to be romantic, you know, you got to do all this crap. But dudes who go out here and do this stuff, who are overly persistent, who do that kind of like Disney nonsense, they get treated terribly. So I agree with that. I think a lot of these guys who go out here and they follow the rule book of romance, they get humiliated, which is why men stop doing it.
Your dad didn't have access to thousands of horror stories from male content creators talking about getting used and played by women or raked over the coals in family court.
Hey, that's me, guys, right? I literally have thousands of those videos. I will never run out of these videos, by the way, right? You know why I never run out of horror stories? Because the horror stories never run out, guys. You know, every single day I can pull up TikTok. It doesn't matter what the day is. And I will find women on there who will actively tell me about their dating situations. And there is always a man on the receiving end of those situations, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the horror, here's the thing. The horror stories from the male content creators such as myself, they don't run out because there's a forever amount of them. Do you know what I mean? Like every single day, some dude is out here getting dragged through divorce courts. Every single day, there's some dude getting cheated on by his girlfriend. Every single day, there's some dude who's raising a kid who they think is his, but it's not actually his. Every single day, man. And the thing is, right, I can make videos trying to help men, trying to show them, you know, what exactly they should be avoiding, you know, here's what's actually going on, etc., etc. But a lot of these guys, you know, they still want to go out there, they still want to get married, and so they get screwed over anyway. There's always going to be these horror stories. Really sad.
Creators talking about getting used and played by women or raked over the coals in family court. Your dad wasn't being influenced by alpha bro manosphere dudes with podcasts telling him not even to talk to women and to hit the gym instead. It's a completely different world now because social media has completely changed the dating landscape.
Just by the way, guys, I'm not one of these podcast dudes, but what I have seen a lot of these podcast dudes, number one, they don't call themselves alpha males from what I've seen. And number two, I think that's some pretty solid advice, to be honest. Hit the gym, don't talk to women. You'll feel a lot better. You know, a lot of these guys are out here, they're dating, they're stressed by women. You know, they're confused by everything. The women are playing them, they're cheating on them. You'd be surprised how much simpler life gets when you just ignore women and you go to the gym or you pick up like a hobby like fishing or something. Life just becomes so much better, I'll be honest. So I can get behind that.
And because of that, yeah, we do live in a world where men do need a massive, glowing, shining neon green flag if they are going to pursue a woman, or they won't feel safe. And
Still not going to do it, sorry.
I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I'm definitely not saying that the full burden of carrying a relationship should be on just the woman's shoulders, but I am saying that dropping the handkerchief can't be as subtle as it used to be. And I'm also saying that once you reject a guy, expect him to stay away. So yeah, 35 years ago, your dad might have gotten away with continuing to pursue your mom, even though she said no. But also 35 years ago, people were buying houses for 80 grand. So times change. Either
Just by the way, these are the same women, right? I'm sorry, but I thought no meant no. You know, I see so many videos of these women complaining that men won't pursue them even after they've rejected the guy. And it's like, do you think that men are just out here trying to catch court cases these days, man? A lot of guys, surprise, surprise, they don't want to be labeled as a creep, right? They don't want to be labeled as that guy. They actually want to listen to women and respect their boundaries. And it's funny, because even when men respect women's boundaries, they back off when the women say no. We stop pursuing because women said they didn't want to be pursued anymore. And even when men listen, even when men respect women's boundaries, we still get in trouble for doing something wrong. This is exactly why men don't approach women anymore. It's exactly why a lot of guys don't date. Hell, it's exactly why a lot of guys simply don't care anymore and they simply stop listening altogether. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. You know, today I was supposed to cover some other video clips like this one, for example. I mean, I have a bunch of video clips. I've got this one here. You know, I had this other woman in their car, but I just can't be bothered listening to all of these women. I really can't. We're going to be leaving it there. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.